Are you loitering in the land of wishes? Nate, there is the no loitering sign.
That doesn't
Right
stop
next-
people from loitering, does it?
No. Just
Especially
like
in a
the
place where we're comfy.
no skateboarding.
Right. They use the no skateboarding sign as a slide. Something to do a trick off of. Yeah, that I love that way of getting into this. That the whole idea of loitering, like people tend to loiter places where they're comfortable.
So
And
you're
this-
saying that the land of wishes is a comfy place.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, it feels good because we have this vision, we have these wishes. I wish I had $1 million. I wish I had $10 million. And I think about all those things that I would do with that $10 million. And it's kind of cool. You know, the nice house, the nice car, the trips I would take with my wife and my family, and you know, living a debt-free life, all those kind of things. Those feel really good. And it's really easy for us to get psychologically attached to those ideas and then just kind of hang out there.
Is the same true of goals that aren't materialistic? I mean,
Yes.
you just went full Lamborghini and all of
I did.
the...
I went full, and I apologize for going full Lamborghini, but it's incredibly true as well in really good intentions. If I sit here and think about a future where I'm philanthropic and I'm doing all these things for all these people and making a positive difference for everybody, and that feels good. That's a future vision that I really like, and I would love to be able to pull that off. But if all I do is sit and think about it and idealize about it, then I'm not moving forward and I'm loitering in the land of wishes.
Yeah. I like it too for a second reason. I like it that you decided to sell the Lamborghini and use your money for some good things.
Yes, so fast too. I'm not a Lamborghini guy. I would be a Model S Tesla. That would be my, if I binged on one car, I think that's where I'd go. You know, another good example.
More speeding tickets too,
Yes.
if you got your Lambo.
Hopefully I won't be by driving my kids or my grandkids somewhere. Did you know I'm going to be a grandpa?
I did not know that. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm super excited about that. It's no longer a wish. Yay, I'm done loitering. But back to that idea of loitering. Do you remember Lord of the Rings? This is my nerd side coming out.
You're cinematic and you are nerdy cinematic.
Nerdy cinematic.
I was thinking of cinnamon there for a second. I had some nice cinnamon and cocoa this morning. But I just kind of know little parts of Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
When I woke up during, when I was watching, I'd wake up and I'd get a part, and it's a really cool part, and I know it's
a great nap in that movie. And
I don't know if I want to do this in 2025. I don't want to read the books because I have too many that I'm reading, but I do want to possibly watch is it a trilogy? Is that, or is there now 9 of them?
Well, no, that's Star Wars. And yeah, it's worth watching, especially the original ones.
Yeah. Incredible
the Hobbit
story.
Ones they did, that one drug a little bit, but at least for my taste. But the Lord of the Rings is great. The reason I went there is when the story starts, Frodo's hanging out in his home of Bag End, and it's kind of this little blissful town of hobbits, and they're happy and they get along great. And that's just, life's just kind of fun and simple there. And it's real easy for Frodo to just stay there. And he could stay there, but a bigger purpose comes his way. And, you know, he could stay far away from all the wars and everything, but he has something else to do. And it's only when he leaves the comforts of his home that he goes and he has his grand adventure and ends up saving Middle Earth. And that's what we do. We get stuck there in that comfortable place, just like he wanted to, and we want to, because it's safe and it's comfortable and we feel good about it. So how does that relate to our parents?
Well, if we're going to get out of the land of wishes, you need to do something. You need to do, maybe there's a lot of things, but we're going to talk about one specific thing that you really need to do. to start making those goals a reality. And that is, you've got to skill up.
Yeah.
You have to add skill rather than just having this general idea. For example, with parents, we focus so much on communication because that is just it might be the key to improving your parenting of your high school athlete or performer. And so if I have this big overarching goal of I'm going to improve my communication, and I visualize this just having great conversations with my teen. We get in fewer or zero arguments. We both just the communication channel is very clear. There's never any,
Respectful.
everything's just great. And man, I think of that. It's wonderful. I really enjoy it. But how am I going to get there? What skills do I need to develop to make this happen and not just hang out in the land of wishes and lollipops?
Yeah.
You got some nerdy stuff for me?
Well, the skills are the bridge that you build to move on from that land. That's how you get out of that. And ultimately you take all those wishes, but now you're working towards them becoming a reality. And skill work is the key, and everything's trainable. So it's just a matter of identifying the skills. Now, like you said, communication as a skill. Now, you can say, I want to get better at communication, but what are the skills that make up good communication between a parent and their teen? And this is where you start to make some progress on that. Is now it's like, okay, what are the key skills that I need to get better at? So like
Right.
the Brendan Burchard kind of refers to this idea of he calls it a PFI, primary field of interest. And so communication could be your PFI. This is my primary field of interest. This is where I want to get better at. And then it's identifying the key skills within that primary field of interest to get better at. Listening would be more of a skill. Eye contact would be listening more of a skill. Asking great questions would be another great skill that parents could work on. And we have some tools to help parents develop some of these skills.
We have the QOC, which is the question only conversation.
Yep.
So that's hitting on the asking questions. That's hitting on the curiosity, getting really curious and zipping your own mouth.
Two skills right there. Being curious and zipping your yap.
So then you get to the listening part. Another one is the communication ring, which goes into a really specific method of how you are going to communicate with your team. Another one that I really love is the agreement generator, because we so often operate in our relationships on assumptions. And that just doesn't work. And if you're going to use the word assumption, you're also going to use the word expectation. And if that's how you're operating, you're going to be broken down on the communication highway and you're going to be stuck in the middle of nowhere. Whereas if you can focus on creating agreements, these become powerful two-way promises. And in order to do that, your communication skills have to be at a very high level.
Yeah. But it centers around this idea of skills. And like you talked about doing some nerdy stuff, there's a high link between our skills and our motivation. And so if I'm struggling with motivation, it might not be the fact that there's some problem out here. The problem could be I don't have the skills necessary to do what I want to do. And so as we build our skills, we actually build our motivation as well. And that can really help in actually moving from the land of wishes to the actual realization of our goals and dreams, is developing skills.
I love it. And confidence is just going to naturally follow.
Yep. Yeah, when you know you've got a skill, you feel confident. If as a parent you feel confident in your listening skills, you're going to approach any problem that your teen has with confidence, knowing, okay, I can listen.
Right.
I know I do this great. I'll sit here and listen. And your kids will eat it up.
Yeah, and the more you do it, You're going to want to do it more because they will start speaking more.
Yep. Steve,
Which,
I'd love to give our parents a bit of a challenge here.
Challenge away.
So, for starters, what's one key skill that you want to commit to learning over the next month?
As a parent,
We're getting real close to January. The New Year's resolutions are percolating. They're starting to flow. What a great thing to think about going into this is what's one key skill that I can commit to learning and getting better at this month?
I'm going to go ahead and suggest that they pick one in the communication arena.
Sure.
It
And
might be
those tools that we
listening.
have are they're available to help you out with that.
I think we definitely want to tell more than we want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
We want to consult more than we want to coach. We want to instruct more than we want to shut our yaps. What'd you say? Shut our yaps? I want to challenge the parents to help their teens to develop a new skill. Our listeners are high-performing parents, and
Yep.
there's a good chance their kids are really excelling in their sports, athletics, or their performance activities, drama, dance, singing, drill, all the things. But there's going to be some room for improvement. And I think of one that I look back as a teacher, and this would happen through all levels of performance. Even kids that were getting better grades, for sure happens with students that are not getting as good of grades. But one skill that they sometimes are lacking is organization.
Mm-hmm.
Just simple self-management things like using a calendar, having a tracker, being able to measure their progress on completing and turning in assignments. Sometimes in high school, that's just half the battle. If you complete every assignment and turn it in on time, it's and maybe this is a arrow fired at the heart of education, but
Please fire away.
Because now I'm talking just kind of quantity. There is the quality of your work too. It's not just,
Right.
you've seen students just say an assignment is finished and it's turned in on time, but the assignment is of poor quality. So that's a whole other skill too. But if you could model and teach your kids to develop this skill of just completing every assignment and then turning it in on time, grades go up.
Yeah.
Even if you're at a 3.7, your grades are going to, because there's a chance that you're maybe missing some assignments.
And you know what a key skill is there?
Tell me.
Well, you get a little nerdy. You can set the timer if you want, but Atomic Habits does a great job of highlighting this. Like, this is, basically scripture in my world. It's a wonderful, wonderful book. And one of the things that James Clear spends a lot of time talking about is designing environments to help us be successful and do the things that we want to do. And so a skill could be designing those environments, designing a system that helps you to be the best you be, helping your team design a system that helps them to get assignments done on time and turned in. That's the self-management you're talking about there, is can you create systems that will help you do that? And that system design is a skill that we can all improve at.
Can I ask the 4 questions?
Please do.
So thinking of designing an environment, if we went to the teen's bedroom and we were using that environment to be organized, and the skill we're trying to build here is completing every assignment and turning it in on time. I'm not going to give the specifics because then I'm consulting rather than coaching. And I think this is going to be different for every kid. Every bedroom is probably going to be different. And you, as a parent, I want the teen to create this themselves. I can help guide them here, but I don't want to tell them what to do. But if you ask these 4 questions, how do I make this obvious?
Mm-hmm.
How do I make this attractive? So what reward am I going to get out of it? How do I make this easy? This can't be a 17-step complicated thing that's just going to, you're going to get tired of it after one day. And the last one is, how do I make this satisfying? If you applied this to any time you're trying to create a new habit or skill, you're on the right track.
And if you want some nerdier research to go along with Atomic Habits, BJ Fogg wrote a book called Tiny Habits, and then Charles Duhigg has his The Power of Habits, that both dig even further into what you're talking about there with those 4 things. And, just making it something so we can actually do, so we can get out of the land of wishes and into the execution and pursuit of our goals.
Nate, I'm just going to leave you in the land of wishes with the extra reading, which
I wish everybody would read more.
I have to admit, I have read both of those too, but
nice.
I'm going to leave you and just go out and start working on my habits. When you get done, you can bust out of the land of wishes and join me. What's your parting shot for the parents on this?
Oh, identify skills. Take the time to really look at what's the skill that I need to accomplish what I really want to.
I'm going to call
great goals.
I'm going to call a time out there. So you said identify the skills, and then you narrowed it down to one. What would you suggest for a parent going into their next phase with their teen? Keep it at one. Go for one
skill.
No, you don't have to name a specific. What I'm asking is, sometimes in the land of wishes, we have a list of 9 things,
mm-hmm.
and it feels really good. But then we step out, and 9 things are too much.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a one at a time thing?
It's easiest if you do it that way. But it's also, it requires a lot of patience, and you have to be good with yourself as saying, okay, I'm not going to, this as a coach, we have a game and we watch the game film and we put notes, and there's so many things we have to work on, but we can't work on them all at the same time. And so as we're designing practices for the next week, it's like, okay, we have to get better at passing under pressure. And so my focus can be, we're going to get better as a team at passing under pressure. But at the same time, I'm still going to have to tolerate some of these mistakes in some of these other areas while we're focused on getting better at passing under pressure. And I think it's the same thing for parents trying to, one, move themselves out of the land of wishes and then help their kids move. Find one thing that you can put your focus on, but just mentally prepare by being like, okay, I'm going to have to be okay with this as it is for now. Because as soon as we start trying to cover 8 different skills at once, now our energy becomes dissipated and we don't really make progress on any one thing.
Very well said. How about a word of encouragement?
You can do this. That vision of you being that parent that you want to be is there. You're that supportive, incredible parent of that athlete and performer that you love, and they're going to feel that as you do this, so go do it. On behalf of Steve Galley, I'm Nate Crandall, and we thank you, our loyal listeners, for tuning into this episode. If you love what you're learning from the Stop Parenting and Start Coaching podcast, we would appreciate it very much if you would leave us a 5-star review and some glowing comments. We also encourage you to share this episode with your friends and family who are parents of athletes and performers. And if you want to explore further and see what Steve and I are creating to help thousands of parents, athletes, and performers, please visit our company's website at createtransformbecome.com. That's createtransformbecome, all one word, .com. There you'll find a growing number of resources to help you elevate your performance. Thank you again for your support, and we encourage you to create a magical relationship with your athlete and performer.